What's up, guys? I know why you're here. It is because you want to get your ECU flashed. You've heard all the hype. You heard that Moore Mafia is a spot to come. Well, today we're going to tell you what you got to do in order to send your ECU in to get it flashed, and we're going to answer all the frequently asked questions about all kind of things. Anything you can want to know about ECU flash, I got you coming up in this video right here. All right, first thing first, how do I send in my ECU? That question, real simple, guys. You're gonna pay for it first. You're gonna remove the ECU out of your bike. You're gonna mail it to us. We're gonna flash it and mail it back to you. You cannot purchase an ECU from us. We can only flash your existing ECU. In order to do so, it's very simple to remove it on your bike. We have some tutorials that will show you how to remove it on your bike. If you don't see the tutorial on our website, just search on YouTube ECU replacement, ECU removal for your bike on YouTube. You should be able to find videos there. Most ECUs can be removed in under 30 minutes, so it's super simple. Once you get the ECU removed, you are responsible for shipping it to us. You do not pay us for the shipping to us, and we do not provide you with a label for you to ship it to us. How you ship it to us, whether it be USPS, UPS, FedEx, DHL, any of that stuff, that's up to you, okay? All you gotta do is include a piece of paper with the ECU stating your name, address, and phone number. If we have any more questions, once we get the ECU, we'll give you a call. Alright guys, if you're not from the United States and you still want to get your ECU flashed, don't worry, we can help you out with that. We use DHL for international shipping. We can ship anywhere in the world to get this stuff done for you. So let's say you're in a big hurry and you want to get your ECU flashed, but you don't want any downtime for not being able to ride your bike. No problem. You can find a used ECU, or you can buy a new ECU if you like, but they're crazy pricey. If you go on eBay, you may be able to purchase another ECU from a motorcycle just like yours, pre-owned, for usually only a couple $100. Now, there's a sticker on the ECU itself with a part number. You need to match up that part number on your ECU that's in your bike now with the one on eBay. Don't take the seller's word for it and just say, oh, they'll interchange, they'll all work. They will not. They may crank and run, but you may have a check engine light that you can't get rid of because this ECU, let's just say, is a California model which has more emissions built in it than the other bike. Well, if you put the California ECU onto your motorcycle, it's not going to see all those other emissions things. The bike may run fine, but you're going to have a check engine light. So make sure, it's very important that you match up those part numbers. Once you get the new ECU, put it in your motorcycle to make sure the bike runs and functions right. If you put it in there and the bike runs terrible, more than likely something could be wrong with that ECU, or you just got hoodooed and you got the wrong one. I don't know, but it should interchange and work perfectly unless you live in a country outside of the United States. Then there is immobilizers. So basically the key switch is married to the ECU. You cannot change out or swap ECUs on bikes with the mobilizers, which is basically everywhere outside of the United States. The United States, we do not have immobilizers, but everybody else pretty much has them. Alright, let's say you want to get your ECU flashed, but you don't feel confident removing the ECU, or you just don't trust the shipping and don't want to be bothered with the weight or the risk of having something happen to your ECU during shipping, which God forbid it probably won't happen, but I don't drive the delivery truck. So you want to bring your ECU or your whole motorcycle to us, you can bring just the ECU or the whole entire bike and we'll remove the ECU for you, reinstall the ECU, and clear the codes after it's been flashed. We do charge an additional fee in order for us to remove the ECU and to put it back in, but we can do it all for you the same day while you wait. All you got to do is call us and make an appointment. All right, next question is, how do I pay? You're going to go on the website, after you watch this entire video, and then you're going to select your year, make, and model on the website. If you do not see your year, make, and model, more than likely, we do not provide a service for that motorcycle. But if you see your bike, you're going to click on that bike, and then it's going to ask you a series of questions. It's going to ask you what modifications you have done to the bike. If you don't have any modifications done and you plan to keep the bike that way, simply just write bone stock. If you have a slip-on exhaust, let us know the brand of slip-on exhaust you have, what air filter you have, and so on, okay? Whatever modifications you have, write that down in the box. The next thing, pops and bangs and two-step and just other options that may be available for your bike. You're going to have the ability to click on those. If you don't see those options on your bike page, then we do not offer those options for your motorcycle. Not all options are offered for all bikes. The next thing it's going to ask you is the ECU shipping from us to you. We do not have anything to do with the shipping coming to us. So once we receive your ECU, we are going to then ship it back to you using the service you choose. If you want standard shipping, we offer that. That's USPS priority mail. That's typically 2 to 3 days. If you want it rush delivered, that's USPS priority express. In most cases, it's 1 day, next day air. If you live in rural areas, or let's just say in Oregon and we're in South Carolina, it may possibly be 2 days for you as well. We don't drive the delivery trucks. We only provide the ECU flashing service. Now there's another option, expedited handling. That is not to be confused with expedited shipping. Expedited handling is how much time it takes us to flash your ECU and get it ready to ship back out. If you're in a hurry, we offer the expedited handling, which is going to guarantee your ECU to be flashed the same day that we receive it, except for on Saturdays. There is no outbound shipping on Saturdays. If you pay for expedited handling and your ECU comes to us on a Saturday, it will not ship till the following Tuesday. No shipping on Saturday. We're closed on Sunday, Monday, so it sits here till Tuesday. But if you get the ECU to us on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to go back out that same day. Then it will be shipped based on the service that you chose, either standard shipping or expedited shipping. Next question. ECU shipping insurance. Now this is for the shipping insurance coming from us going to you. If your ECU is lost, damaged, anything happens to your ECU in shipping, that's on the ECU shipping company, okay? In other words, the USPS. Shipping insurance only comes as $100 with standard shipping. So therefore, if you don't purchase shipping insurance, your package is going to come with $100 of shipping insurance. If your ECU is damaged, $100 really isn't going to do much of anything to replace it. A replacement ECU, whether you buy it used, could be $250 to $500 on eBay. A brand new one is going to be $1,000+, okay? So whatever shipping insurance you choose, that's your decision. So let's talk about how long this whole process takes. So once you click on your bike, choose your options, write your mods down, pay for the ECU Flash on the website, you're going to then receive an email. That email is going to have your receipt, and it's also going to have our shipping address of where you will send the ECU to. The address, Moore Mafia, 3401 Wade Hampton Boulevard, Taylor, South Carolina, 29687. Once again, that address is going to be on the website in the contact information and on your receipt. So once you ship the ECU to us and we receive it, if you did not choose the expedited handling your ECU will be done within 2 days of arrival. Remember, there is no outbound shipping on all orders that are received on Saturdays. All right, let's talk about ECU flashing options. So each ECU flash is going to be catered to the modifications that are done to your bike. It is not one generic flash for one generic motorcycle, and that application fits everybody. Some companies may do it like that, but not ours, okay? So if you have a 2022 R1 and you have a Yoshimura exhaust and a Sprint air filter, you're going to let us know that in the modification list. We are then going to take a tune that we have done here on our dyno with the same or similar modifications. So basically, if a guy comes in and he gets his bike dyno tuned and he's got a Yoshimura exhaust and a Sprint air filter on a 22 R1, we're literally going to upload his dyno tune from his motorcycle straight into your ECU. That tune should be extremely close for your exact application. Now let's talk about if you live in Colorado at 5,000 feet elevation and we're in South Carolina at 800 feet elevation. Well, your bike has sensors on it that are going to account for those elevation differences. Whenever you purchased your bike brand new from the Yamaha dealer, Yamaha didn't ask you if you were going to be riding the bike in the mountains or at the beach. They installed sensors on the motorcycle to account and read the differences in the atmosphere pressures to be able to account for that. Your bike still has those sensors, and those sensors are still going to work after the ECU flash. Now, if you want the option for pops and bangs or two-step or whatever else the option is you want, if you see that option for your motorcycle, then it is available. If you do not see that option, then unfortunately we can't do that option on your bike. The website is specifically tailored for each bike to have each option listed on the website. Pops and bangs. I'm going to show you an example of what pops and bangs is like. Hold your ears. Pops and bangs, the way we tune them in is not bad for your motorcycle, okay? It's not going to harm the bike, it's not going to burn out your valves, it's not going to blow your engine. You are totally fine. If you have a catalytic converter, we don't really recommend the pops and bangs tune because eventually the pops and bangs will melt the catalytic converter. So if you want the pops and bangs tune, it is suggested that you remove your catalytic converter. If you decide you want ultimate pops and bangs for your bike, you got two things that restrict the pops / eliminate them. One, the catalytic converter. Two, the pair valve block off plates. Pair valve block off plates cannot be installed on the motorcycle if you want the ultimate pops and bangs option. Now, if your bike has pair valve block off plates and you want pops, then you need to look on eBay or somewhere and source the factory pair valve system for your motorcycle, install it back to stock, then send us the ECU to be flashed, letting us know that you have a stock pair valve installed on your bike. Let's just say you get the ultimate pops and bangs and you decide later on that you want to eliminate the pops or reduce the pops a lot, then you can also look into doing a Google search for your bike. Let's just say GSXR 750 Marble Mod. M-A-R-B-L-E, marble, like a little ball that you played with when you were a kid. That little marble mod will do the trick. It's basically free, and that will eliminate / stop your pops and bangs. The next question, two-step. The two-step is a rev limiter that is engaged when the bike is either A, in neutral, or B, with the clutch pulled in. I'm going to show you an example of that now. All right, we're going to show you an example of what the two-step is. The two-step is a feature that we can add on pretty much most Suzukis. The two-step does not add or subtract any horsepower. It is only simply to help you launch or just to have fun in a parking lot, making noise at a red light, whatever you choose to do. Anytime the bike is in neutral or the clutch is pulled in, when you crank the bike or when you hold the bike wide open, it's going to make this noise. On this particular bike, we have the two-step set around 7,500 RPMs. Each bike is different for where you may want to set it. Just keep in mind, whatever RPM we set the two-step to, you cannot rev the bike any higher than that anytime it's in neutral or the clutch is pulled in. So if you want to set it at something low, like 3,500, you'll never be able to free rev the bike higher than 3,500 RPMs if it's in neutral or if the clutch is pulled in. Hope this helps explain everything and you guys understand. Let us know whenever you send in your ECU exactly what RPMs you want your two-step set at. If you're not sure, you can just recommend us choose for you, and we're happy to do so. The last option that is often offered for some bikes is MR12. MR12 is a specific type of race gas. If you don't plan to run MR12 or of any race gas in your motorcycle, then don't worry about this option. If you don't see MR12 listed for your bike, then we do not have an MR12 race gas tune for your motorcycle. Alright, let's talk about what changes we make in the ECU and what is the ECU Flash going to do for your bike. So with ECU Flashing, we have the ability to adjust fuel maps, ignition maps, the throttle maps. There's tons of tables that we can adjust in the ECU that cannot be adjusted any other way. For instance, a power commander. Power commander only adjusts the fuel maps. So therefore, let's just say for instance, you have a 2020 GSXR 1000. It has an electronic throttle valve. So when you twist the throttle wide open, your hand goes wide open, but the computer tells the bike actually how much throttle to give it. So if you don't get the ECU flashed, it doesn't matter if you buy a power commander. The power commander is only going to adjust the fuel. So if you adjust the fuel going 60% throttle when you're supposed to be 100% throttle, you're still not going to get the power you need. It doesn't matter if you have a stock exhaust, a slip-on exhaust, a full exhaust. Even if you have a bone stock motorcycle, if you go wide open and the bike ECU doesn't tell the motorcycle to actually go wide open, you're not getting your full potential of horsepower. So when we flash the ECU, no matter what modifications you have, and we open up those throttle tables, you're going to get a big power gain even if your bike has 0 modifications. So not only are we going to eliminate the throttle restrictions, we're also going to remove the top speed limiter, which your bike may or may not have. Not all bikes are going to have these things, but we have it listed on the specific page for your motorcycle, exactly everything that's able to be adjusted. But top speed limiter, fan temps, throttle tables, fuel tables, ignition tables, traction control. We can change all kind of things on all kind of ECUs. Go to your specific bike page and it's going to have a breakdown and an itemized list of exactly everything that's capable of being adjusted. Now let's just say you see that it has the ability to disable the steering dampener. Well, we don't do that standard unless you tell us to. Your bike came with a steering dampener, it's electronically controlled. We want that to still work unless you tell us otherwise. So not everything that you read on that table as far as options is going to be done. If you don't know anything about your motorcycle other than the fact you bought it, you like it, and you want it to be better, all you got to do is send us the ECU, tell us the modifications, and then we will put the expert knowledge into your ECU. You do not have to be an expert and understand everything that you're reading on there in order to get great results. We're going to set the ECU up of how the bike is going to ride the best, perform the best, and have great reliability, all standard. So when we do the ECU Flash, no factory features or functions are going to be lost. If your bike has wheelie control, if it has traction control, anything it has from the factory, it's going to have once you get the Motorcycle ECU Flashed. It's just going to do everything a little bit better. So now let's talk about dyno tune versus ECU Flashing. Which one is better? Well, of course, a dyno tune is always going to do the best. But if you're just riding and having fun, weekend warrior kind of stuff, the ECU Flash may be all that you need. Now, if you're racing your buddies and trying to get lap times, and let's just say you and your friend have the exact same bike, what's going to be the best for you? Probably the dyno tune, because if an extra 2 or 3 horsepower is going to mean you beating your friend, hey, it's worth it. You got to come in and get your bike dyno tuned. But if you're just riding your bike and having a good time and you just want your bike to, for one, drive smooth, run cool, and be, I guess you would say, tuned the way it should have been tuned from the factory, the ECU Flash is all you need, and it's half price. But if you are looking to get your bike dyno tuned and you want every little ounce of horsepower that you can get, you can always go onto our dyno tuning page on the website and find out more details about how you can schedule your dyno tune with us now. One more option that we're going to throw out there, you got ECU Flashing, you got dyno tuning, and then if you want the ultimate best performance period, look into our remote tuning package. The remote tuning package is where you're going to purchase the products to flash your own ECU. Now this is a little more complex and this is much more expensive than the ECU Flash or the dyno tune, but this is going to give you the best performance you can get, really for racing applications only, or for somebody who does not want the downtime of sending their ECU in to get flashed. You can buy this package from Woolwich Racing, and then you have the ability to flash your own ECU. Now, you don't know how to flash ECUs. Don't worry, we take care of that with our remote tuning service. I will then log onto your computer, create the tune on your computer, you'll flash the ECU. Basically, I do everything for you. All you would have to do is turn your computer on and turn the key switch on the bike, plug a cord in, I do the rest. Check out our remote tuning page for more details on that. All right, guys, another common question that we get asked all the time is, does ECU flashing void my warranty? And how long do I have to wait before I flash my ECU on my brand new motorcycle? Technically, ECU flashing does void the warranty. However, so does installing exhaust systems, so does doing all the other modifications. In the fine print, the warranty is only good on a 100% factory motorcycle. Now, what fun is that? Who wants a brand new bike that's supposedly super cool and fast, but it sounds like a Dyson vacuum cleaner? Nobody. So everybody that buys a new bike and wants to put exhaust system on it, you might as well go ahead and flash the ECU. Keep in mind, flashing the ECU decreases the reliability to 0. Your bike is 100% just as reliable after the flashed ECU as it was before the flashed ECU. In fact, it may be a little more reliable because we corrected the lean air-fuel mixtures that the bike came with from the factory. So from the factory, the bikes come set to run super lean in order to pass emissions and so on. Whenever you put exhaust systems on them, the bike then is even leaner, meaning you've added increased airflow, so now we got to add increased fuel flow. We correct all that in the ECU Flash. Now, if you did, God forbid, have a warranty issue, whether it be the headlight goes bad, or whatever the case is, you can always send us the ECU back. We can flash it back to stock, and you should have zero issues with your warranty at that point. All right, guys, now that you got your ECU flash and you got it back, it's gonna come with some instructions. Those instructions were not just put in there for fun, okay? They are in there for a reason. We want you to read them. The instructions may or may not say that the O2 sensors need to be unplugged, okay? Every bike is different. Your bike is going to come with specific instructions for your model on what you need to do when you get it back. If your ECU paper says that you need to unplug the O2 sensor, you have to do that. It's not optional. If it says must unplug O2 sensor, unplug the electrical connection. You will leave the O2 sensor in the exhaust pipe and unplug the electrical connector. Now, where is the O2 sensor? The O2 sensor is going to be mounted in the factory header, and the cable is usually within 24 inches long. At the end of that 24-inch long cable, there's going to be an electrical connector. You will simply then unplug it. You don't have to tape it up. You don't have to put anything in its place. Just unplug it. That's all you got to do. Now, your ECU flash may have caused a check engine light. Now that you have unplugged all these connectors on your bike, when you turn it on, put the key back or put the key in, do all this process, your check engine light's on. Don't worry, that's 100% normal. Some bikes will go away on their own after 3 rides over 25 miles each ride. Some bikes will go away after you let them run for 30 seconds, 5 times in a row. Some bikes you will need a diagnostic scanner and diagnostic OBD2 adapter plug to plug into the motorcycle in order to clear the check engine light. The bikes that need the scanners, we have them listed on our website for you to purchase, the diagnostic scanner and the diagnostic adapter. If you already have any diagnostic OBD2 scanner, that scanner will work fine. We just got to get you the correct plug-in for the diagnostic scanner to plug into the motorcycle. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was as informational as possible. We try to make everything super clear and put everything out there in front of you before you make your purchase. I hope you've enjoyed it. Keep in mind, we are the world's largest motorcycle ECU flashing company for a reason. We deal with lots of ECUs on lots of different bikes and we have lots of knowledge doing so. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out, mooremafia.com. Hit the contact tab. That will give you information to get directly a hold of me, and I'll be glad to answer any more questions you may have. Have a good day, guys.